We all know that puppies and, of course, adult dogs love to chew. While for older dogs this is often a result of boredom or anxiety, a teething puppy is likely to relish in finding any soft toy, slipper or pillow laying around to chew on so they can soothe their gums and relieve the pain caused by the growth of their adult teeth. Just like human babies, puppies are born with no teeth. Their baby teeth, known as the milk teeth, they come in at around about 3 to 4 weeks of age, and then at around 4 to 5 months old, they start to fall out to make room for their 42 permanent adult teeth. The teething process can last anywhere from about 8 to 12 weeks, and it can cause them a little bit of pain and discomfort in their jaw and gums, which is why they do love to chew. Remember, puppies also chew because it's how they explore and learn about the world around them. So it's important that we don't punish them, and instead we provide safe alternatives for them to chew on, like the VitaPet soft chicken tenders or even the lamb's ears. There are also a number of puppy chew toys. Make sure you look for non-toxic or natural rubber ones when you're looking for a toy or chew. And of course, remove anything that you don't want them to chew from their reach, because they certainly aren't aware that your pair of expensive shoes are out of bounds if they've just been laying around waiting for them to come along and grab them. If you aren't sure whether your puppy is teething or perhaps just taking great pleasure in chewing their way around the world, there are some signs to look out for. This includes red or inflamed gums, drooling and unpleasant breath, increased chewing, which is the most obvious sign, decreased appetite or increased whining or irritability. While you are likely to notice some blood on their gums or maybe their favourite toys during the teething process, if you notice a large amount, then do take them to your vet for a checkup. Before all adult teeth have emerged, it is a good idea to take them for a dental checkup just to make sure that everything's okay and that there are no serious issues such as cracked or crooked teeth or jaw misalignment, particularly with those short muzzled breeds. Keeping our puppies' bodies and brains moving, regardless of whether they're teething or not, is really important to keep boredom at bay. So don't forget, in between chew toys, to leave them with some interactive toys and puzzles and some tasty treats hidden inside of those to provide an outlet for them and those early explorative months. This is important for dogs at all life stages, but never more so than when the risk of having your favourite things chewed up is higher than ever, with all that inquisitive mind and mouth ready for action. For more puppy tips and tricks, visit VitaPet Central. Hey.
In some Indigenous Australian communities, the dog is far more than a pet. It's a spiritual being. To learn more, I met with Larrwanbuy Baker, a Yolgnu man from East Arnhem Land.
Jeremiah, how important is the totem in your culture in North East Arnhem Land?
Well, in North East Arnhem Land, my people are known as Yolgnu people. And the totem plays a very, very big part in our culture. In our everyday interactions, in our ceremonies, it is our guide in how to preserve Mother Earth. There are many totems in each tribe and clan, but which is the most dominant species? Is in an apex predator as well as an influencer of the nature. Okay. So we are guided by our native species, from plants to animals, that shows us who should be cared for, yes, and who should not perish on this world. It's pretty much our guide in every aspect, as in body, spirit, and as well as connecting to other animals. When I say spirit, it is in our culture that we are represented as the totem when we pass on in our funeral ceremonies.
Yes.
It's our spiritual guide that takes us back to the dream time. If the process is done right, we may come back as our totem.
Yes, yours being the dog.
Yep.
So what happens when a dog or a warung gets sick or they pass in a community? How does it impact on the people?
Well, it's like hearing somebody has passed on. You will notice a lot of people will give condolences to the owner.
Yes.
Just like a human being would pass away.
Yeah, right.
Because knowing most of the important significance a totem has, yes, in our culture, everybody already knows that.
Yeah, of course.
So their engagement and the condolence they give out and the comfort, it is at another level. You will never see that anywhere outside of Arnhem Land, which I can say comfortably because I haven't seen that anywhere.
You're right.
Except back home.
Warung is your totem.
Same goes with every other species.
Yes.
It all depends on if your role a certain role towards that totem.
Yeah.
Later this episode, Jeremiah explains to me the challenges faced by dog owners living in remote Indigenous communities, particularly relating to the diets of their canine companions.
Despite the fact that poor dental hygiene can seriously impact our dog's overall health and well-being, there are still so many owners that simply aren't taking good care of their dog's mouth. How big a problem is this, Mel?
Well, more than 80% of dogs over the age of 3 have some degree of gum disease, which is known as periodontitis. There's a mountain of evidence in humans and increasing volume in veterinary research to show that poor dental hygiene releases bacteria into the bloodstream, and it's associated with heart, liver, kidney and airway disease as well as diabetes.
Not to mention how painful it is, and so many owners miss this, don't they, Mel? Because dogs, they don't complain and their masters are hiding their pain and they're suffering in silence.
Absolutely. I see too many dogs, particularly those sort of less than 10 kilos, in their latter years with teeth that are so rotten that almost all the teeth need to be removed when you do the dental.
Yeah.
And owners are always surprised that the teeth are so bad because the dog still eats its food. But what's the alternative?
Now, there are some concerns, though, that people have around anaesthetic and using them on our dogs.
Yep, well, general anaesthetics do not harm the kidneys or the liver or the heart, provided all of the steps are taken to ensure that those organs are checked before the anaesthetic occurs. So a blood test prior to the anaesthetic, a urinalysis, and then during the anaesthetic, IV fluids, very careful blood pressure monitoring, and we won't put an animal under anaesthetic over the age of 7 without running blood tests and urine tests. And we recommend it for all dogs, regardless of their age, just to be sure.
Absolutely, for these guys. So what about those that are promoting anaesthetic-free cleaning?
Yeah, well, look, unfortunately, it doesn't work. No. You're trying to do a scale and clean on a dog without an anaesthetic, and it's not only highly distressing, they're not taking x-rays to identify holes and caries in the teeth.
So what should we be doing, you're right there, Darce, at home then to take good care of our dog's teeth?
We wouldn't expect to have a nice breath and white-looking teeth if we didn't brush twice a day, and dogs' teeth are no different. So I tend to recommend for smaller dogs a baby or toddler's toothbrush.
I use that on the boys.
Yep. And it really, having tried it on both toddlers and dogs, I will attest to the fact that it's easier on a dog. Okay. But the thing I will say is that if anyone thinks, oh, well, I'll give it a try, you should get your dog's mouth checked first, because even if there's a low level of gingivitis, it will hurt when you start doing it, and you might make your dog hate it or resent it forever.
Yeah, and also using dog-friendly toothpaste, not human toothpaste. Also, then what's your position on bones?
Yep, look, bones. If you're doing it already and it's working, and it often does. Well, I'll often look at a dog's teeth and go, geez, these look fantastic, what are you doing? And that's what they're doing.
Yes.
They're feeding a couple a week or something. But the smaller designer breeds, I don't tend to encourage it. You can get fractured teeth and constipation, diarrhea, foreign bodies. Okay. Yeah.
So what about dental chews and things like water additives?
Yeah, well, water additives are good, but not all dental chews are equal. No. One that I do recommend is Oravet dental hygiene chews, as they can help with bad breath as well as plaque and tartar formation. They've got a special ingredient in them which forms a barrier that helps to prevent bacteria from adhering to the teeth. And even with this though, they still need a daily brushing routine and a regular vet checkup to help keep those teeth nice and healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. These boys have just been done. Darcy zonked, and Vindy, he loves a good toothbrush. So
look at him.
You gonna let Auntie Mel do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why is it always Darcy that's got the issues? Lara, you've got to try. He looks for Darcy.
To help with your dog's dental hygiene, look for the Oravet dental chews at your local veterinary clinic. If you haven't yet got your paws on a copy of my books, Eat, Play, Love Your Dog and World of Dogs, head to poochesatplay.com to grab yourself a book bundle deal. Eat, Play, Love Your Dog helps you take the best care of your dog from puppyhood through to its senior years, while World of Dogs delves into the evolution and history of our canine companions, their role in society and pop culture all around the globe. They're the perfect gift for anyone who owns or loves dogs, or why not simply spoil yourself.
This week's Breed in Focus is the smallest dog breed in the world, the Chihuahua. And today we have Taco. We've got Ben and Dora there. We've got Nuggy there, and we've got little Frankie here as well. So these three guys are through Chihuahua Rescue Australia, and Nuggy, I'm told, was an Australian champion show dog in his younger years. Named after the Mexican state where it was discovered in the mid-1800s, some experts think the Aztecs or the Incas developed the dog, while others say it can be traced right back to Spanish dogs as far back as the 1500s.
Now, they may be pint-sized, but Chihuahuas have big personalities, so it's no wonder that they're one of the most popular breeds of pets in the world today. They can be rather fierce despite their diminutive size. They're excellent companions and very loyal, but can develop undesirable personality traits if they're not socialised properly early on.
Yes, Chihuahuas like to stick close to their people and may well take over your life if you let them. They're very intelligent and willful at times, so use positive training methods to set clear boundaries. They are active little things, so while they only need around 30 minutes of a walk a day, you'll need to keep their brains and bodies busy to stop them becoming anxious, neurotic and developing other behavioural problems. This is definitely not a breed that copes well with being left alone.
No, and while they're very affectionate and make for great family pets, they really aren't recommended for homes with young children, as their small stature does increase their risk of being injured.
That's why early socialisation with children, strangers and other animals in a safe and positive way is so important.
Chihuahuas weigh only around 2 kilos, and some of these guys here are less. They stand at only about 5 inches high. And as you can see, they have a smooth and a short coat, or a long and a soft one, with fringed ears and legs, and come in almost any colour.
When it comes to their health and lifespan, Chihuahuas are considered a very healthy breed. In fact, they live up to 18 years, but if they live with you...
I had one live till she was about 21. Yes. Generally, they are very healthy, but heart disease is common in Chihuahuas. And while there's no actual cure for it, there are medications and things that you can do to slow down the progression of heart disease. So early detection is super important.
And people might also notice that they've got a little soft spot on the top of their head.
Yes, they can be prone to persistent fontanelles, as well as several neurological conditions associated with abnormalities of the brain and spinal cord. Fortunately though, most of the conditions that Chihuahuas are susceptible to are treatable. So that's where choosing the right pet insurance for your dog can help. And ask the breeder to provide certified health clearance for patellas and heart conditions.
Or you could just consider adopting one instead through Chihuahua Rescue Australia.
Absolutely. Look at these guys.
Yeah, well, not you.
To find out how HIF Pet Insurance can help your pet in times of need, visit hif.com.au. Earlier, I met with Jeremiah, who explained the significance of the dog in his culture. However, one challenge faced by those living in remote Indigenous communities is feeding their canine companions a healthy diet.
Long before first contact, we didn't have shops. We didn't have processed food. We didn't have any food where it's specific diets or for specific species. Everything was off the land. Yes. So, can you share your kangaroo meat with your warong? Of course you can. Your fish, everything. But now, in this modern world, everything is from the shops. Yeah. And of course, we are told that by dietitians, nutritionists, doctors, to eat healthy. And a lot of this healthy food
is not so great for our dogs.
No, not really.
Yep.
My people do not know what is healthy and what's not for our most important member of the family.
Yes.
Which is our elders that are reincarnated in their totems.
Yes. So working with AMRIC, and this is part of your role, is really then around education, so helping people understand why you're trying to...
The way I look at it is trying to explain to them the good thing that they're doing by their loved one is actually the opposite.
Yeah.
To start with, that gets their attention.
Yes.
But you cannot just go in and give out that big speech without having a solution and a strategy on how you can. Now, you can start talking about all the good dog diets and everything when they don't even know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Most of my people don't even know that there is a whole range of medication, diet, and all kinds of food for our pets.
Yeah.
Almost like they have their own shops. A pet store.
Yeah.
No such thing. That's only one shelf on a half an aisle of probably just 2 products.
So we needed the education, but also we need to have the supplies
Tools,
there,
the
and
resource,
absolutely,
everything.
and
It's
the
all gonna
product
be there.
on the shelves that they can actually choose from. So a big job to do, but you're there doing it with AMRIC. Well, let's hope we can all play a role. And if you'd like to play a role in helping the Wurrung, then visit the AMRIC website and find out ways that you can support it. Our partner, Big Dog Pet Foods, is certainly supporting their work, so you can visit their website to find out about their campaign and how you can support that as well. Thank you, Jeremiah.
No.
Well done on your mission.
I thank you.
Let's hope we get there.
I hope so too.
Looking for a porcelain gift idea to show your pooch how much you love them? Or what about the dog lover in your life who loves throwing a good puppy party for their birthday boy or girl? The Pooches at Play gift boxes are the perfect present for all pooches and can be tailored for any occasion. Shop now at poochesatplay.com.
If you have a senior dog that's acting a little unusual, you might just put it down to old age. However, dog dementia, also known as canine cognitive dysfunction, is more common than you might realise and becomes more prevalent as dogs age. It can be hard to diagnose as it's slow to develop and often subtle in the early stages. Initially, dogs may be caught staring into space or waking more at night, and this will then progress to disorientation, which might include getting stuck in corners, behind or under furniture, or seemingly forgetting how to find their way in and out of the house. Anxiety might start or worsen, and they may bark at nothing, or their social interactions may change. Many owners will also report that their older dog has started following them incessantly around the house. Their sleep patterns can change and cause restlessness at night, and some won't sleep at all, or sleep all day, then be up all night wanting your attention. They may also start soiling in the house because they've forgotten toilet training and may not respond to commands or perform tasks that they used to. Aimless wandering and obsessive compulsive behaviours like licking floors are also common. That's why taking care of your dog's cognitive function is vitally important at all ages, with a complete and balanced diet, exercise and mental stimulation. While it is a progressive degenerative disease, if you act early, there's plenty you can do to help slow down the symptoms. So talk to your vet as soon as you notice any changes in your dog's behaviour, no matter how subtle. Treatment of canine cognitive dysfunction requires a holistic approach, and the research is still ongoing. There are medications which can be prescribed, supplements, dietary changes, and we also recommend increasing outdoor activity in the sunlight and providing plenty of mental stimulation in the form of training and puzzles. Joint pain due to osteoarthritis should be treated, as should any other health issues which might be holding your senior pooch back. It's easy to allow an older dog to remain sedentary, but it just creates this vicious cycle. Just as is the case with older humans, keeping active and healthy is vitally important in maintaining a youthful mind in dogs as well. Check out the Pooches at Play website for more information and tips to help keep your dog healthy and happy at all life stages. Isn't that right? You don't have to worry about it for the moment though. No.
When it comes to grooming your dog at home, there's obviously going to be different recommendations depending on the coat type and also the breed. So let's just start with those short, smooth coats like Staffies, Greyhounds, Dachshunds.
The smooth-coated breeds generally require the least amount of grooming at home, especially if they're going to a groomer regularly. Generally, they do shed a bit, and a lot of these breeds have a double coat, so you want to make sure you're just brushing them a couple of times a week to remove this undercoat that tends to build up. Your DGG silicone brush is fantastic for this. The little nubs will drag out that undercoat and get it all out of there for you. Other than some regular nail trims, it's about all you have to do at home.
All right, that sounds a bit easy. What about washing?
Depends on the dog, really. If they get really dirty, you can wash them up to once a week as long as you're using a really quality shampoo and rehydrating with conditioner as well. But most of your short hairs will only need it probably every month or two.
Okay, now what about those that have got short, coarse coats like little Darcy does here? You gonna stay awake, mate?
A lot of these dogs shed a little bit as well. There's a lot of variety with your coarse coats, so it depends what you're doing. Some of your dogs will be really good with a silicone brush just to get that coat out, but you might have to go in with a slicker brush as well just to help smooth everything out and kind of separate that hair.
Okay, now also double coats, because this is what the little one's got as well. We need to be doing them quite regularly too, don't we?
That undercoat builds up quite a lot and right at the skin, so you want to make sure you're brushing in layers and doing different sections, and you make sure you're line brushing. So you can use your slicker brush, your comb if you've got any really big knots in there, and your undercoat rake. It's also fantastic for getting that coat out of there.
Okay, good-o. So that's those ones. And then we're going to move on to, what have we got next? There is the wide-haired ones, which I suspect Darcy's a bit of as well.
Some of your wire hairs can get clipped. Some of them just need a really good brush with a slicker brush at home. Sometimes a rake can help. A lot of these dogs actually get hand stripped. but not all of your groomers are trained in hand stripping, so make sure you talk to your regular groomer about booking in this type of service and whether your dog will need it.
Absolutely. Now, what about those with the drop coats, like your Shih Tzus, the Maltese, that can have them really long?
Yeah, you want to be brushing these guys really regularly, and the type of brush you use really depends on what kind of coat they have. If you're not quite sure, you can always talk to your local groomer, but generally your slicker brush we use a lot with these type of coats, or a brush like this that has a pin brush on one side. The pin brush is really good for preventing breakage, especially if your dog's got a really fragile coat, and you want to make sure that you're brushing them every day, especially if they're kept in a longer trim.
The bristles are hemp bristles here. They're really good at smoothing. I know it makes
They're fantastic for smoothing stuff out.
And then we've got the oodles of poodles.
So you guys need the most maintenance at home. It depends on what type of haircut they're kept in as well. Similar to your drop coats, if they're kept nice and short, you can probably get away with brushing them a couple of times a week or once a week, just depending how short they are. Okay. If they do have a long tail and ears, you want to be brushing that pretty regularly just to keep any mats and stuff out. And a conditioning spray is fantastic for brushing these out as well.
And then we've got hairless dogs.
Your hairless dogs generally still need to be washed pretty often. They have a lot of oil in their skin. Some of them need to be washed because they do have problems with blackheads and skin issues like that. And a lot of them do shed dander and skin cells as well. So you want to make sure that you're being on top of that.
All right, well, I think we've pretty much covered most of them. And also, I'm guessing in between, keeping them nice and deodorised.
Your 4-in-1 spray is fantastic for deodorising between, and your conditioning spray is absolutely awesome to brush out mats, tangles, anything like that, and it also helps add a bit more moisture to their coat if they have a dry coat.
All right, well, you can find the DGG grooming range at local specialty pet stores, as well as pet stock online and in-store. Thank you, Dakota.
You're very welcome.
Did you stay awake in that?
Probably
I'm not sure, but now I'm going to be covered in here.
The Petspiration Foundation, together with supply partners like NextGuard Spectra, are on a mission to raise $200,000 this August for guide dogs. These funds will help those living with low vision or blindness gain freedom and independence to move safely and confidently around their communities. Help transform a life and support guide dogs this August by making a donation or purchasing NextGuard Spectra and other participating products at your local Petstock store or online at petstock.com.au. Would you like to win a Pawsome prize pack worth over $2,000? One lucky person will win a year's supply of VitaPet treats, Big Dog Pet Foods, NextGuard Spectra monthly chews, a $250 Petstock gift voucher, DGG grooming and apparel, and a year's subscription to Dog TV. Plus, there's 6 consolation prizes featuring my latest book, World of Dogs, with a VitaPet treat bundle. To enter, sign up to our e-news and tell us the name of one of the charities featured this series. All entries will receive a free ebook on how to create a happy, healthy dog, so visit poochesatplay.com. That brings us to the end of this week's episode, but there's plenty more information and entertainment on the Pooches at Play website and social media platforms. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.